many to handle. I'm telling you, the situation is not good at all. I've never seen a number of people from. We have been having crisis in Congo, but today I've seen people coming in numbers I've never seen.
Well, now the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, UNHCR, is considering settling refugees from the Democratic Republic of Congo across various settlement camps in the country. The Commissioner UNHCR, Joel Boutre, underscores the need for refugees management partners to manage the situation caused by the unrest in eastern DRC. This was at the office of the Prime Minister, where the Minister for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, Engineer Hilary Onek, called on refugees whose countries are now at peace to return home.
So, right now, yeah. Me over there? Okay. You see, right now they're asking questions about these headlines in the paper.
Yesterday, around 11,000 new arrivals came, crossing from 2 points in Bunagana and 10 kilometers north of Bunagana. So yesterday we had around 3,000 in this new entry point, Kayenza, I think, so 10 kilometers north of Bunagana. And the rest, around 8,000, came through Bunagana. Some of them were transported or came on their own towards Nyakabande, where we have a transit center, an old one and a new one. So at that stage, as of last night, we had transferred around 400 to the transit center, the new transit center that is operational. But since this is not enough, we're for the moment, of course, with OPM and other partners, but OPM, under the leadership of OPM, we're starting to renovate the old transit center of Nyakabande, which has a larger space and good capacity, but needs, upgrading, tents and so on. So that's where we are. But what I can say also is that although we were and are still fearing that there may be more new arrivals, for the moment it has not materialized, because it would seem that the situation on the other side of the border has calmed down for the moment.
We are working out ways how UN should come in and help us. We changed the settlement pattern to kind of keeping refugees in one confined area, raising up the number of, putting up blocks which can keep maybe some family, 10 families or 20 families together, can build some apartment-like houses where the refugees can now be together, like in city or town kind of setting, environment, so that they don't now have to use land. That means that many things that will be demanded now. It will demand that the UNHCR has to feed them 100%. There'll be no question of food ration is less. It's not there. They have to buy food for all these people, or give them money to sustain themselves and so on. It's all complex situation which is still being discussed to find a way how we can do that. And then secondly, we would also want to work and encourage those whose countries are peaceful, like those coming from Rwanda, from Burundi, to go back, so that the space they live then can now accommodate other new arrivals.
Coming from the field, so I'm going to.
And Uganda Red Cross have called on government to provide resources that will enable contagious planning for the Congolese refugees coming into the country. The spokesperson, Uganda Red Cross, Irene Nakasita, says the organization has been constrained with the COVID-19 pandemic, hence struggling in terms of managing the refugees.
By yesterday, many uncountable people entered the country. However, at the Nyakabande Transit Center, about 690 people slept there because people were arriving at Bunagana, but the only sleeping place where the people would really sleep is Nyakabande. So there was no mode of transport to move people from Bunagana to Nyakabande. So those who managed to walk were about 497 people. And I said today, the UNHCR has established transport system, at least will help us to move people from Bunagana to Nyakabande. There is no access to clean and safe water. There are no enough latrines and toilets. There is no enough food, so anything can happen. Lives can get lost under such circumstances.
And with that, let's quickly take a break. When we return, more details. This is Lunchtime News.
Grow together with one of Uganda's largest companies. Apply for MTN shares for as low as 100,000 Uganda shillings. And when you apply using MTN Mobile Money, you get 10 free extra shares for every 100 shares you apply for. Dial *165*65# or use the MyMTN app to apply now. The terms and conditions of the offer and other important information are set out in the prospectus. For assistance, visit any MTN service center or Stanbic Bank branch countrywide or a licensed broker.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Raising voices.
Like other fathers across Uganda, I'm standing up to say no to violence against children. I commit to give my children a violence-free childhood. As fathers, we can make Uganda safer for our children. I promise to speak out when I see violence.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Grow together with one of Uganda's largest companies. Apply for MTN shares for as low as 100,000 Uganda shillings. And when you apply using MTN Mobile Money, you get 10 free extra shares for every 100 shares you apply for. Dial *165*65# or use the MyMTN app to apply now. The terms and conditions of the offer and other important information are set out in the prospectus. For assistance, visit any MTN service center or Stanbic Bank branch countrywide or a licensed broker.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Back, you are still watching Lunchtime News, and news coming in right now. A bus traveling to Western Uganda has exploded in Mpigi along the Kampala-Masaka road. We will keep you updated in our subsequent bulletins. But for now, investors in the Kasese Industrial Park are calling for peace in the region to entice more investors to the area. We'll keep you updated as regards that story. Investors in Kasese Industrial Park are calling for peace in the region to entice more investors to the area. This was at the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of Metu Zongtong Bus Industries in Kasese District.
Honorable Minister, you're welcome.
Confusion that is always in this district is because of redundant youth. So we want this industry to take off immediately. They employ some. We are also struggling, which you are aware, and you are one of the people pushing for revamping of claimed mines and KCCL, which we also think can employ another 4,000.
In the next 6 to 7 years, we shall create more than 3,000 jobs here. And also, we know this will have a multiplier effect in the economy of Kasese. So, my people of Kasese, let us maintain peace and stability so that our investment may flourish.
And on the international scene, a Tigray rebel spokesperson says their forces will keep marching to the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa, until the government lifts its blockade on the northern region. Now, Getachew Reda said the only obstacle that was standing in the way of Ethiopia's peace was the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's obsession with a military solution to what is essentially a political problem. The rebels have been advancing towards the capital, and the government has asked residents of Addis Ababa to mobilize and protect their neighborhoods. Reda said their continued march was not so much about Addis Ababa, but to arm twist the president to lift the blockade on their people. He added that the former Nigerian president, Olusegun Obasanjo, who is in Ethiopia trying to negotiate an end to the war, had fruitful talks with the TPLF leader, Gebre Michael.
Interference from abroad.
Today we have shown them that Addis
In the world of sports, Uganda's national under-20 women's soccer team is ready for the final game in the Sekafa under-20 football championship that climaxes today at the Fufa Technical Center in Njero. The national under-20 women's team plays Ethiopia in a crunch ultimate game whose winner will be declared champions at this inaugural Sikafa Women's Championship. The tournament attracted 6 teams and has been played in a single round robin with Uganda and Ethiopia unbeaten up till now, but the Ugandans atop the group on better goal difference. The Ugandan girls can thus afford a draw to claim the championship, but both coach and team captain Ayub Khalifan and Najemba know that victory is what they will play for. Uganda will in the game that will be live on UBC TV. Look to girls like Margaret Kunuhira, Zaina Ndede, Hadija Nadogo, Aisha Nachibuka and Shamira Naluja.
In the previous games, some are being stopped from Burundi in the first game.
It is Ziberi, the goalkeeper, up against Najemba. Scores that one inside. Finally, Uganda is back.
Well, that does it for Lunchtime News. Do stick around for our subsequent bulletins. I'm Rhoda Ngonzi. Have yourselves a lovely afternoon.
After bringing Kigali to its knees on energy shift to Nairobi, nothing brings out the true picture of a football derby like the Mijingo Derby. It's a derby that leaves many desiring for more. And oh yes, this is the time that the question that is frequently asked will be answered. If you own the water, we own the land. And all this will be sorted out on the 11th of November 2021 at the St. Mary's Stadium in Chitende.